The Aztec Empire. The empire built on a lake. In the early 15th century, the Aztecs built one of the most extraordinary cities the world had ever seen. Tenochtitlan rose from Lake Texcoco, a city of stone, canals, bridges, and causeways. By 1500 CE, it rivaled Constantinople and Paris in size and beauty. Spanish witnesses later wrote, "It seemed like a dream, a city floating on water." This was not a primitive capital. It was an engineered miracle. Power at its absolute peak. By the time Moctezuma II ruled, the Aztec Empire dominated most of central Mexico. Millions of subjects and vast tribute networks. What made the Aztecs powerful? Chinampa agriculture, floating farms with unmatched productivity, sophisticated markets, and long-distance trade. Professional warrior classes and highly organized tribute and taxation system. Gold, cacao, feathers, textiles, wealth poured into Tenochtitlan daily. The empire was young. It was expanding. It was at its peak. An empire feared, not loved. Aztec power relied on terror as policy, required to provide captives, and publicly humiliated. Conquered cities were forced to pay tribute. Human sacrifice is deeply religious to the Aztecs, and it also served a political purpose. It reminded subject peoples who ruled them. Resentment spread quietly. The empire had many enemies waiting for a chance. The arrival from the sea. In 1519, that chance arrived. Hernán Cortés landed with about 500 soldiers, a handful of horses, and a few cannons. What he lacked in numbers, he gained in firearms and steel. Strategic alliances with Aztec enemies and interpreters who bridged worlds. Cortés did not conquer alone. He let the empire tear itself apart. Before battles decided anything, smallpox arrived. The Aztecs had no immunity. Within months, nobles died. Generals died, priests died, and the Emperor Cuitlahuac died. Entire neighborhoods vanished. Leadership collapsed. Society unraveled. Fear replaced ritual. The Siege of Tenochtitlan. In 1521, Spanish forces and their indigenous allies surrounded the city. Causeways were cut. Aqueducts destroyed. Food and fresh water ran out. The lake city became a trap. Starvation. Disease. Street-by-street fighting. After months of resistance, Tenochtitlan fell. The empire ended in fire and blood. A civilization erased almost everything. Temples were destroyed. Idols smashed. The city was rebuilt as Mexico City. Aztec codices were burned. Their gods were outlawed. Their history rewritten by conquerors. But not everything was lost. Language, traditions, and descendants survived. What disappeared was sovereignty. Why the Aztec Empire collapsed at its peak. The Aztecs fell because their empire was hated by its subjects. Disease shattered society before war decided anything. Technology gaps were decisive, and political isolation proved fatal. They were strongest when they fell, and still, it was not enough. Follow us for more true stories that matters.